It's getting harder and harder to find someone walking into a dealership asking for one of these motorcycles. Prices are rising. Incentives are everywhere, but beneath the markdowns lies something the brands don't want to talk about. 14 legendary motorcycles now sitting unsold, abandoned, and quietly fading away. Which bikes did riders turn their backs on? Why are manufacturers still pretending everything's fine? And how close are we to a complete wipeout of models once considered icons? Because by the end of this video, you'll see this isn't just about clearance sales, it's a warning. Number 14. Harley-Davidson Iron 883. For over a decade, the Iron 883 stood as the gateway into Harley's cruiser lineup, a raw, stripped-down V-twin for younger riders wanting that rebellious Harley image without the touring bulk. Its air-cooled Evolution engine made it simple, nostalgic, honest. But in 2024, Harley quietly pulled the plug. Why? Because nobody was buying it. Despite years of strong sales, the Iron 883 was increasingly seen as outdated and underpowered. With only 51 horsepower and no modern features like traction control or a TFT dash, buyers started walking away, especially when bikes like the Yamaha Bolt or Honda Rebel offered more tech and comfort for less. Dealerships tried to revive interest with rebates and limited last-run editions, but it was too late. The 883 now lives in that awkward zone, no longer a great starter bike, and not compelling enough for experienced riders. And for Harley, that means extinction. Number 13. Suzuki GSX 250R. On paper, it looked like Suzuki's entry into the lightweight sport bike war. But in reality, the GSX 250R never stood a chance. Its styling mimicked the aggressive lines of the GSX R series, but the performance didn't match. A soft 24.7 horsepower and nearly 400 pounds of curb weight made it one of the slowest bikes in its class. And when beginners sat next to a Yamaha R3, Kawasaki Ninja 400, or KTM 390, they picked those every time. Dealers are now offering up to $1,500 off MSRP just to clear floor space. But even with discounts, these bikes remain untouched. Suzuki hasn't officially canceled it yet, but it's clear the GSX 250R is on life support. Number 12. BMW R90 Pure. Heritage styling, boxer engine, and a nameplate with history, the BMW R90 was once celebrated for fusing retro looks with premium German engineering. But lately, it's the Pure trim that's been left behind. Why? Because it tries to be simple without being affordable. The R90 Pure shares the same engine with its more expensive siblings, but strips down features to hit a lower price. Yet even what's considered lower still starts at around $12,000 for a bike with no windscreen, basic suspension, and minimal tech. Buyers willing to spend that cash go for the full R90 or jump brands entirely. As a result, the Pure trim is gathering dust in BMW showrooms. Enthusiasts respect it, but few are buying it. Number 11. Honda CTX 700. The CTX 700 was Honda's attempt to bring cruiser comfort and automatic transmission together. It offered a relaxed ride, low seat height, and optional DCT, all wrapped in a futuristic design. But the look? Divisive. And the performance? Meh. Riders didn't know whether it was a cruiser, a scooter, or a hybrid touring machine. It fell into a weird middle ground. Sales stalled, Honda stopped pushing it, and now what's left are a few unsold units at deeply discounted prices. It wasn't a bad bike, just a bike that didn't fit anywhere, and that's why it's gone. Number 10. Kawasaki Z650 RS. The Z650 RS was supposed to be Kawasaki's answer to the retro revival, a beautiful blend of modern mechanics and 1970s style. But while the Z900 RS soared in popularity, the 650 version stumbled. Buyers wanted the look, but also wanted power. And when they saw both bikes side by side, most paid extra for the 900. The 650 RS looked great, but under the tank, it was nearly identical to the standard Z650, which sells for less. Today, the Z650 RS units sit unsold for months. Dealers offer cash incentives and low-interest financing, but most buyers are skipping the retro budget version and going full Z900 RS or choosing other modern classics. Number 9. Yamaha VMax. The VMax is a legend, but sometimes even legends age out. Once the king of muscle bikes, the VMax delivered eye-watering acceleration with a 1,679cc V4 engine and an unmistakable silhouette. But at nearly 700 pounds, with poor fuel economy and limited cornering ability, the VMax became a dinosaur in a world shifting toward agile, tech-heavy naked bikes. Yamaha discontinued it quietly, but many 2020 plus units remain in dealer stock. Riders admire it, but few want to daily it. And as emissions tighten and fuel prices rise, bikes like the VMax have no future. Number 8. Royal Enfield Himalayan Pre-450. The Himalayan 411 had fans. Simple, cheap, charming. But by 2024, even loyalists admitted it was underpowered, vibrated too much, and lagged behind modern ADV tech. Royal Enfield heard the complaints and launched the new Himalayan 450. More power, TFT dash, ride modes. The result? Buyers abandoned the old 411 almost overnight. Dealers are now discounting old Himalayan stock by $800 to $1,200 just to move them. If you want a deal, now's the time. But for the 411, it's the end of the road. Number 7. Harley-Davidson Street 500 and 750. Launched to attract new urban riders, the Street Series was Harley's big bet on affordability. But poor quality, vague handling, and awkward ergonomics tanked its appeal fast. Riders complained about the brakes, the finish, and the heat. It felt like a Harley in name only. Sales dropped sharply year over year, and in 2021, Harley stopped shipping them to most markets. Yet there are still new 2020 and 2021 models sitting unsold in some dealerships. Markdowns are steep, but the damage is done. Street 500 and 750 are now case studies in how not to chase the youth market. Great. We're past the halfway point, and there are 6 more entries to be told. Number 6. Suzuki Bergman 400. There was a time when maxi scooters were billed as the ultimate urban solution. The Suzuki Bergman 400 was the flagship. Plush seat, under-seat storage, and highway-capable performance. But in 2025, the Bergman's moment has passed. Priced near $8,000, buyers are now comparing it to motorcycles with more power, more tech, and better resale value. Younger commuters are leaning electric. Older riders are downsizing. The Bergman is caught in between. Dealers are cutting prices aggressively, offering free gear bundles and 0% financing, but it's not working. The market has moved on, and the big scoot no longer fits. Number 5. Ducati Supersport 950. Ducati tried to repackage sport bike looks with daily comfort and created the Supersport 950. But riders didn't know what to make of it. It's not as sharp as a Panigale, not as upright as a Monster, and more expensive than both Japanese rivals in the same horsepower class. That left the Supersport in a strange middle lane. Aggressive but not fast enough. Sporty but not really track-worthy. In 2023 and 2024, inventory began to stagnate. Dealers are now offering $1,000 to $2,000 off just to get them moving. The Ducati badge still turns heads, but in the showroom, buyers are turning away. Number 4. Honda Goldwing DCT Tour. Yes, this one is a shocker. The Goldwing is legendary, but in 2025, the DCT Tour trim is the version most buyers are avoiding. At over $30,000, the DCT Tour pushes deep into luxury car pricing. And while the dual-clutch transmission is smooth and impressive, many traditional touring riders still prefer a manual and a lower price tag. Dealerships are now sitting on high-spec DCT models far longer than base trims. Honda hasn't pulled the model, but they've quietly scaled back allocations. The Goldwing isn't dying, but the $30,000 version with a robot gearbox might be. Number 3. Yamaha MT10 SP. The MT10 is an animal. The SP trim is the most advanced version. All-in suspension, updated electronics, and an aggressive look. But at nearly $17,000, riders are asking the hard question: why not just buy a used superbike? The base MT10 offers most of the fun for far less. The SP, meanwhile, is priced too close to leader-class sport bikes with far more track credibility. That leaves it stranded in a performance no man's land. Riders appreciate the SP, they just don't buy it. Dealers are seeing long wait times to sell and limited orders for 2025. Number 2. BMW K1600 Grand America. Touring luxury on two wheels. That was BMW's pitch. The K1600 America offered 160 horsepower, 6 cylinders, a massive fairing, and built-in luggage. But the problem? Most buyers looking at this price range, over $28,000, still go for the Honda Goldwing. Others downsize to mid-tier tourers or adventure bikes. The Grand America became too niche for even its niche. As a result, units are sitting unsold. Some dealers have stopped stocking it entirely, and trade-in values have dropped. Prestige doesn't pay when practicality wins. Number 1. Arillia Tuono V4 Factory. A masterpiece on paper and a rocket on the road. The Tuono V4 Factory has always impressed journalists with its sound, power, and precision, but on showroom floors, it's fading fast. Arillia's lack of widespread dealer support, high insurance rates, and expensive maintenance routines have made riders nervous. Combine that with a $20,000+ price tag, and even brand fans are hesitating. As other naked bikes get lighter, cheaper, and easier to own, the Tuono V4 is looking more like a boutique machine than a real-world choice. Dealers are offering steep markdowns and tech bundle promos, but interest continues to wane. If you've seen any of these bikes sitting untouched at your local dealership, drop a comment. What's happening where you ride? And if you found this breakdown helpful, give it a like, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we're just getting started. There's more on the way, much more.